Let's talk about best bets for week one. This number is quickly disappearing, JVT. It's only out there at a couple more spots. Patriots minus 2.5 over Dolphins. We talked about it yesterday. You and I are both playing this as a best bet this week. It's pretty much, I'd say at this point, painted 3 across the board. You got to look hard to find a 2.5. There's a lot I like about this Patriots team this year, starting on the offensive and defensive lines. I'm not going to sit here and analyze Mac Jones first and foremost because I think it's the whole team around Mac Jones that makes this an attractive situation in New England. This defense, I believe, is definitely going to be a top 10 defense, if not a top 5 defense this year. They're going to put pressure on the passer. They're going to stop the run. They're strong up front. They're strong up front on the offensive line. I think they've done a good job adding some weapons to that offense. It was a little bit unfair last year. Cam Newton was not playing at a high level, especially in the passing game. He didn't have much to work with. Mac Jones has got more to work with now. I think their running game is going to be there, and that's going to help Mac Jones tremendously in his development as a rookie. And again, you're going to hear people analyze this game and say, well, it's a rookie quarterback in his first start. He played at the highest level in college. He's been coached by Nick Saban, Bill Belichick. I don't think Mac Jones is going to be out there freaking out in week one because he's a rookie quarterback. He's got a strong support system here. And I'm still, until I see it, I'm not going to believe it from Tua.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And here's the thing for me, it's twofold, but I'll start with that defensive line that you're talking about, or just the defensive front for New England. New England's going to be one of the better pass rushing fronts in the National Football League. They're going to be better from a year ago. Mm-hmm. This is a team that finished top 5 in pressuring quarterbacks last year, but they were 24th in sacks, so they just couldn't finish. Well, they addressed that problem, right? They go and get Matthew Judon. They go and bring back Kyle Van Noy, who played for the Miami Dolphins last year. And if you look at this in Tua's games last year, he played in 10 games last year, quarterback Youmans. Opposing defenses pressured Tagovailoa on 29.1% of his dropbacks. Right. It's a lot. And so now this offensive line, I don't think is greatly improved in any way whatsoever. And you take on a Patriots front that I do think is improved. And it's outside of just Van Noy, right, and Judon. They had a lot of guys already there. Chase Winovich, Josh Uche. So this is going to be a really good front seven. I think they're going to be creating a lot of havoc in the backfield for Miami. And on the other side, Miami had a lot of problems. What was buried with their defense was the fact they were turning the ball over like crazy. I don't think that's going to happen this year. And what was buried is the fact that they were below average front seven in defending the run. And this is one of the best run blocking offensive lines in the National Football League. I just think there's so many matchups at key positions, especially along the lines that favor the New England Patriots. You're not going to need that much from Mac Jones here. He's going to play a game manager style. This 2 tight end offense is going to be a lot safer for him than most other offenses out there. I just think this works in the Patriots' favor. So, yeah, this was one of the first week one bets I made. Actually, was the first I made when it went back down to 2.5.
All right, and you can still find 2.5. Like I said, you got to search for it at this point. Washington +1 is going to be a play for me, and I've talked about it at length, and I talked about it with Mitch Moss and Paul Howard on Follow the Money this morning, so I'll skip that and let you break down your games. But I've also got this teaser on the Buccaneers -1.5 and the Rams -1.5. And I think there are a variety of teaser combinations you can play with the Buccaneers, who I would be stunned if they lose on Thursday night. So I don't play a lot of teasers, but I'm playing this one. Bucs, Rams, each at -1.5 on a 6-point teaser. And again, Washington +1. I've also, in our point spread weekly picks, I've not bet this yet, but I used one of my 5 plays this week, Texans +3, and that's one of your plays.
Yeah, it is. And so there's a lot that goes into it, and really it is a play, I think, against the perception of Jacksonville. I thought this should be much closer to like pick. I guess you can talk me into Jacksonville being slightly favored, as like a 1-point favorite, whatever it is, but laying a full field goal is just a little too much for me, and there's many reasons why. You can start with the offensive line that I'm not really a big fan of for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but we haven't talked a lot about this Texans offense. This Texans offense wants to run the ball. It's what they're going to do, and you don't hate their running backfield at all when we're talking about Ingram and David Johnson, Mark Ingram, that is. There's worse running backs to have at the top of your depth chart, and I will say this, because this Houston Texans offensive line wasn't the best run blocking unit last year, but this is not the cliche Texans line of old. This was the 8th best pass blocking unit last season. They could have a really big day keeping Tyrod Taylor clean, because this is one of the worst pass rushing fronts in the NFL last year in Jacksonville, and it didn't get much better. Right. So I think that this is going to be a matchup where I'm playing against this. I'll take the key number 3 at home with the Texans. I just think it's too much.
Yeah, when I watched the Jags in the preseason, I thought they got a lot of problems on the offensive line. They're not going to be able to run the ball.
Yep.
That's going to make Trevor Lawrence look bad. Mm-hmm. And it's tough to take an ugly dog like the Texans in week one. But, hey, the Jaguars won in week one last year, knocked off JVT's Colts. Knocked Brent Musburger out of the Circus Survivor contest.